Now you gonna watch your mouth.
Hey,
Shh. I know you miss me.
I know you miss me, okay?
Now you gonna watch your mouth.
I know you miss me. What's up, everybody? Welcome to As We Walk podcast, man. I am one half of your host, Rashaun Pratt, and I am with my brother.
All right, I'm Darren Webb. How you guys doing today?
What's up, y'all? We are happy to be back with another episode. And this episode, we're going to dive into counseling, mental health, and the church being a resource center, brother.
Yeah.
Something that's dear to our heart, and it's a conversation that we continually have, because we see a lot of, things going in the world, and we see a lot of topics, and we this would have been, crazy had, the church been there to do this, or this would have been crazy had they, got, counseling in this area. So I want to open it up to you, man, to just kind of talk about your experience, your expertise, when it comes to mental health.
Well, I don't necessarily know if I have expertise, but it's something that I definitely, deal with on the job and stuff like that. But I will say this, that, just to bring some context to this. So there was a time when the church was the resource hub of the community.
Yeah.
It was a point in time, especially when we look at in America, yes, during the civil rights movement. The church was really like the focal point of the community. It's where you went to get fed spiritually and naturally. It's where they really began to get the news about what was going on and to protest. But also there was people, learning how, to be entrepreneurs. There was people learning, about how to parent. The church used to offer so much things, and there are, shout out, because there's still a lot of churches who are doing this.
Yes.
But I think that we have to get back to that place where the church has become, again, the focal point of the community, because somehow along the way after that civil rights movement, I think we kind of geared away, and the church no longer has it's no longer serving the communities in a lot of respects as they used to, and so there has to be a place where we get back to people knowing that the church really is a critical point in the community. Because I think, we have to ask ourselves, like, if a church was to disappear from the community that they are, I'm talking about a sound, biblical church, if they were to disappear from the neighborhood, would anybody notice?
What it means, huh?
And so the church should not just be a place where people go and get spiritually fed, although that's a huge key component and an essential. But we also have to be able to help one another. Again, we've talked about in season 1 that there was a time when you didn't hear about mental health in the African American community.
It's taboo.
You didn't hear really people talk a lot about drug addictions, or talk about people struggling financially or needing type of legal stuff. We knew that it was happening. There was whispers and discussions of this stuff. However, it wasn't something that we put up in the forefront.
Yeah.
And so I think that as we talk about, as we're looking in the news and we see people who are depressed, and even in the African American community, but just even in the church, because I don't want to just make this the thing of African Americans, but as we see people are really struggling with a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, I think that we have to ask ourselves, what role does the church play in actually addressing some of the things that we are seeing in the community? Because we really should be an answer and out front serving our community.
Yeah.
You have churches that during the holidays, they give turkeys, they give the gifts, to the children. They're doing Toys for Tots. Shout out to those churches that do that. In the summer months, you have churches that do a day out in the community, and they're giving out the backpacks. But we need to see more of that, because we're seeing, we need to see more of the pantries. We need to see more of, the childcare services and businesses that's being offered to support the people in the community, so people can see the church for what God, really designed for it to be, and that is to minister to the total man.
Yeah. Holistically.
Yes.
Holistically. Yeah. And I think the beauty of biblical community And the beauty of a church is that you have a bunch of different professionals and type of people
Yeah.
within that ministry.
Yeah.
And so where you have that as it you have a resource hub
Yeah.
full of resources right there.
Yeah.
But it just requires everybody to avail themselves and actually live sacrificially. Like we talked about before, how amazing it would be if somebody were to come into our community and say, hey guys, I'm really struggling right now. I lost my job.
Yeah.
I have 2 kids, right? I got rent due. I'm not looking for a handout.
Yeah.
I need help to get back on my feet as far as getting back into the work world so that I can do my part in providing.
Yeah.
You being a manager, me being a manager, saying, hey, we can give you help with a resume. We can look out for jobs. We can go over interview questions and do that so that when an opportunity comes, you're well prepared. And also, we're going to come together and help take care of you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But more so than just giving out the food, more so than just giving out the turkeys, during the month, actually being there and doing life with people and trying to unease all of the burdens of life and not just one thing. Like, I feel like it's kind of easy to be like, here goes this chicken meal, and here goes that. But how can we minister to the total woman? How can we minister to the total man?
Yeah.
Are you having anxiety over not having a job?
Yeah.
How can we help ease that?
Yeah.
Are you having anxiety over a spouse? How can we help you guys, in your marriage? Are you having anxiety over your children? How can we help you in your parenting? How can we help you with your car? You got folks who know cars and stuff like that, and your car is making a weird noise, and you have anxiety because you don't know if you can go to and from the work, but you don't have the money to fix it. How can we help you with that? Just trying to be that resource center and to be that community that takes care of one another, I think would actually look more biblically sound and actually ease the burdens that a lot of people have.
Yeah, and not only that, you're talking there, and I love what you're saying. It's also in order to be able to do that, you have to be in the community to know what the needs of the community are.
Hello.
So as you see, even young men who may need help with being young men, there is a need for, do we have some mechanics in the church?
Yeah.
Who might be able to do some sessions and give a few of their Saturdays where they can teach, young men and young women, actually, how to do an oil change
a tire,
how to change a tire if they're stuck on the side of the road, So these are things that we can do that we're helping people. And again, a lot of times when churches become weary of, these kind of conversations because we don't want people taking advantage of us.
Yeah.
And we don't want to, we want these kind of resources and these kind of helps to go to people who actually need them.
Yes.
We don't want people trying to get rent money that they actually don't need or trying to take advantage, and it's because of the fact that they continue to be careless, or they become. We're not trying to cripple people,
right?
We want, our goal in ministering to the total man is that you become that you don't become dependent on the church.
Yes,
that you become self-sufficient and able to take care of yourself.
Right.
However, we know that God instructs us to take care of the widows, take care of the orphans. Take care of the marginalized, take care of the people who cannot take care of themselves.
Yes.
And I think that also comes with being able to have that conversation. And we're talking about as we walk.
Yes.
So as we walk, you might, like you said, there may be a man in the church who doing very well, but all of a sudden, for whatever reason, is laid off on the job, and he has a family to take care of.
Yeah.
We got to do more than just say, oh man, that's bad. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm gonna pray for you.
Praying for you, brother.
No, we got to get behind this brother. We got to see how can we support? How can we support? Does somebody know about some possible job leads?
Right.
Do someone know? Can we help with a few groceries? And can we get a few bags of groceries over to the house weekly until they're able to to support themselves?
Right.
So just jumping in a fight with somebody. I mean, we're talking about as we walk, and then also when it comes to mental health. Because this becomes a very sticky situation a lot of times in the church, where everything is, where sometimes people think everything that's meant to have to do with mental health is demonic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just a demon. That's a demon. That's a demon. Well, sometimes it's not a demon.
Say it.
And it's all right to get counseling. We have to create these cultures.
Yes.
Where it's all right for people to seek help.
Yes.
The church has to be a safe space for people.
Yes.
They have to be able to get self-help. They have to be able to seek out help.
Yeah.
And that's a part of it becoming a safe space. If I can't ask for help, then this is not a safe space. If I have to sugarcoat what I'm going through just so you're able to digest it, then this is not a safe space.
Yes.
If you have individuals who can't say that they are struggling with anxiety and struggling with being able to get out of the bed, if we have people that can't tell us and be honest and say that they are struggling with, drug addictions or gambling, then it's not a safe space. We have to create and cultivate these environments where people feel safe enough for us to be able to to ask for help, and then for us to be able to offer the help.
I love that.
Because you think about James. James said if there's a person that's hungry, and you just tell them that you just go and you try to just take care of it spiritually, but you don't actually give him no food, well, you haven't helped this individual.
Not at all.
And a lot of times that's what we do. Somebody
I'm praying for you.
Yeah, I'm praying. Oh, that's tough. You hungry?
We're going to pray that God just blesses you in a major way, and we're going to pray that God works things out for you. Thank you for that. Because I need not to shun prayer, because we need it, right? We need to pray, right? Prayer is an essential, I believe. But also doing the work.
It's some work, yes, that has to be done as well.
It's some work that has to be done.
Yeah.
We need to help you out.
Yeah.
You said that your need, hearing the need, thinking the prayer is great, but then saying, okay, how can we meet this need as a community?
Yeah.
Him, his wife, and his children need food.
Yeah.
He got laid off.
Yeah.
All of his money is tied up into trying to pay bills for the next couple of months to try to give himself some space to live comfortably. They need some food.
Yeah. And can I say this too? Because I want to make this very clear to people that's listening to us. Because this is a pet peeve of mine. When you're really coming from a right place of trying to assist people and trying to help people and try to make a safe space for people to be able to ask for help, it's important that you don't broadcast the help that you're offering.
What? What you mean?
This is not an opportunity for a selfie.
I gotta show myself.
Yeah, this is not an opportunity. If you're doing things that you're assisting people, that's not for you to get glorification.
Right.
That's not for you to take a selfie and let me show y'all me feeding them, and let me show you the food I cook for them.
Yes.
Or the groceries I just dropped off at the door. No, that's not the attitude of Christ.
Yes.
And so with us being able to support people and to be able to help people, we have to be able to and be willing to help people without being recognized for what we're doing.
Yes. You first of all, brother, because that's really good. Because that's all we see now in the age of social media and being an influencer. People, I think they have a good heart and wanting to help, but I always want to document my help, and I want to be seen helping. And so you're taking all the glory, right, away. And is the intention behind it to actually help somebody out and edify and glorify God, or is it to bring glory to yourself? You had mentioned something about us being a safe space.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is so important for communities to be that to people, so that we can share, so that people can open up and actually shed light to the things that they deal with in the dark. Yeah. One thing that we know is the enemy and vices and mental health and all that, it thrives in darkness.
Yeah.
It thrives in isolation.
Yeah.
And man, because let me just get myself together, because you know me, because I get emotional. But even just thinking about myself in different seasons that I've been in, isolating myself, and just thinking about the damage that does.
Yeah.
You helped create a safe space within our brotherhood. Like, hey, bro, you can talk to me.
Yeah.
You can share the crazy stuff.
Yeah.
You can share it. There's no condemnation. There's no judgment here. I want to be here to walk through life with you.
Yeah.
I think when we're creating a safe space, bro, we have to be intentional.
Yeah.
Number one. And we have to be prepared.
Yeah.
We talk about all the time, what happens if they won't touch my vice? No,
Yeah.
we have to be prepared to touch all the things that we feel like are taboo.
Yeah.
We have to be prepared for it. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best, but create a safe space. How would you create a safe space with somebody, or with how would you instruct a church, or how should a church create a safe space so that people can actually open up and shed light to things that they battle with in the dark?
Well, I would say, number one, it has to be organically done. You cannot force this. It's just like mentorship. You just can't force yourself on people, and you can't force people to open up.
Yeah.
So the first thing is you have to be a person that, you got to be friendly. You got to be welcoming. You got to be kind. You can't cut people off when they're trying to talk to you. You got to be a person who someone say, oh, this person, when I talk to them, they're actually talking. They're actually having a conversation. We actually have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
This is not a person I'm talking to, and every time I'm saying something, they're cutting me off.
Yeah.
Or this is a person who, when I'm trying to communicate with them, they're not hardly paying me attention. They're on their phone. They're not looking at me, because then you just know, okay, well, I can only go so far with the level of conversation that I can have with this person. So the first thing is learn how to effectively communicate with people.
Good.
Learn how to build rapport with someone.
Mm-hmm.
Learn how to be trustworthy with people.
Yes.
Be a person of your word.
Yeah.
If you say you're going to do it, do it.
Mm-hmm.
If I say that, hey, let me just let's go out to lunch. That means that I do show up for lunch, and I show up on time. If I said we could go out to lunch at 1 p.m., I show up at 1 p.m. to go out for lunch, and we sit down and we talk, and I actually hear you out, and I don't cut you off right in there. I remember there was, a wise church mother that I heard a long time ago say, you can't clean fish before you catch them. And a lot of times we try to clean fish before we are actually catching them. They're not hooked into Christ yet. They're not hooked into this new life of Christianity and righteousness and holiness first. So you have to stop trying to clean people before you actually catch them. You got to build that rapport.
Yeah.
You got to show yourself to be trustworthy, because people now, what we have to realize is people are full of trauma, and you yourself everybody have gone through something traumatic.
Trauma. Yes.
Of some level of trauma. So right then and there, people already are wired for red flags so that they can back off.
Mm-hmm. And
so what you have to do is you have to help people to put down those guardrails that they've gotten up, where they're not able to really, they've gotten up these walls. You got to help them to pull those walls down, and it takes time.
Yeah.
This is not a 3-week plan of being able to help somebody and being able to find out how somebody needs help. This is not a month plan. This is not a 6-month plan. It's not a year plan. Over time, as you build rapport with people, they will be able to open up. I've had people in church share things with me, and I never, went back and said it. Number one, I showed myself to be trustworthy because I didn't go back and share it with anybody. I'm big on that.
Yeah,
I'm big on that. If somebody come to you, they shared it with you. They didn't share it with, the person down the street. They didn't share it with, your best friend. They shared it with you.
This is a big one.
So they entrusted you,
yes,
to be able to take in what they wanted to share, and to be able to give them counsel, and for you not to share it with everybody else.
Hold that thought right there. This man is telling the truth, and this is a big one. They shared it with you, and they didn't share it with your spouse.
Yeah,
right. There's been times where we have been talking with both of our wives, and we like, hey, did you guys know about da-da-da? And they're like, what? And then we think like, oh, my brother really has not shared, not even in pillow talk, has not shared anything. So you show yourself trustworthy, and so you take my vulnerability and you don't mishandle it.
Yeah.
And so that just builds more confidence.
Yes, I can share more.
I can share more.
I can share more because I trust what they're actually doing. And so if somebody wants to say, I'm dealing with some anxiety, or I'm not sleeping, or I have a gambling problem.
Yeah.
And then also too, you got to be honest with people, because they're coming, like, I'm not a mental health professional.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't pretend like I'm a mental health professional.
Yeah.
A lot of times in the church, we tempted to work outside of the scope of our practice. you know, we make ourselves Jesus. We make ourselves Jesus, so we doing it all. We the mental health therapist. We the drug and alcohol counselor. We are the therapist. We are the marriage and family therapist. We want to do it all. That's not your scope. That's not your field.
Yeah.
God actually got some experts that you're not the lawyer. That you gearing people up for the courtroom. You're giving them legal advice, and you know
that's what you need to do.
You about to go to show. You take that. You took that advice. You about to go to court and lose it all listening to them. Because you thinking this person's a lawyer. They giving you all this legal advice and what they did. I promise you.
Your Honor,
I promise you. You about to go to court and lose it all, okay? You about to lose some stuff that wasn't even on the table for you to lose because you listening to the wrong person.
You listening to the wrong people, bro.
So we got to operate within the scope of our practice.
Yeah.
You know, we are, you know, so we you know, so you have people, we should be biblically sound. So people should be able to come to us for spiritual. But if somebody has mental health stuff, I have to be able to, I don't have to be the answer.
Yeah.
I should be able to link you. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about being a connection, and that's important in brotherhood.
Yeah.
To say, okay, you need therapy. Now, I can offer you therapy, okay, but let me get you connected to some resources where there's some therapy.
Beautiful.
You need drug addiction counseling. Let me link you to some sources that can help you with that. You need somebody that can help you deal with the gambling issue, or you need some anger management classes.
Beautiful.
So, my brother, you got an anger problem. You punching holes in the walls. That's not good. You getting enraged. Your wife and your children are becoming fearful.
Yeah.
You need to deal with that anger, because this is the thing too. When we're building that rapport as well, I'm not forsaking truth for grace, and vice versa. I got to be able to balance grace and truth with you as well. I got to be able to tell you the truth, but I also got to do it gracefully to where I'm not coming off better than you. It's a balance.
That's not 50-50.
I cannot forsake.
I gotta be 100%.
I got to tell you 100% truth, but I also got to give you 100% grace as well. I can't lie to you. I cannot condone your actions and say it's all right what you're doing. No, it's not all right.
It's not all right.
But also in giving you that grace, it's okay. We got to get you over to that to the right source, so that way you can be able to get some help. But we gotta stay within the scope of our practice.
Hello.
You got people giving people even, you know, they acting like they're a doctor.
Stop. Okay, stop.
No,
because
seriously.
I can cry.
Seriously.
So I can start.
No, seriously. I tell you, I need to lose some weight, and I need to go to the. You 600 pounds giving me advice about you know.
So let me tell you what I've been on. Hydrogen peroxide and apple cider vinegar. I mix it about 3 times a day. Like, man, that's why your fingers is black right now. You're about to fall off. Stop it.
You try to be a dietitian and nutritionist and everything else. Now, what I want to know, when I want a good rib joint, a good barbecue place, I'm gonna come to you. However, I'm talking about I want to lose and I need to get healthy to get my blood pressure under control. You telling me to do some crazy stuff, that's not helping me. Yeah. So, you know, we gotta stay within the scope, and we have to be honest with people and feel comfortable. And this helps us, like, I mean, with our children, with everybody, we have to be able to, because parents sometimes feel like we always have to give our children the answer. You got to be comfortable as a man telling people that I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah. Brother, let me tell you.
Because you got to be comfortable saying, I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know.
But I'm not going to leave you right here.
Yes.
I'm not going to walk away from you and say, I just don't know the answer. I'm going to help. We're going to walk together. We're going to walk together until we get to the answer for that.
We're going to find out the answer, or we're going to find somebody who does know the answer. Me, so, you know, because I have a heart for leaders, and me being a leader and me being a manager, because at my job and everything, I live by those humbling words. Like, hey, I don't know. Yeah. And it's okay for me. I think at times we as leaders feel the weight or the pressure to want to know everything or always have the answer. I don't. And this is this is to all the leaders out there too. Like, bro, be who God called you to be, and understand that there are some people in the flock that can do what you cannot. Yeah. And that's okay. That doesn't take away from you being an effective leader. And this is more than just the church. This is for jobs. This is for life. It doesn't take away from you being an effective leader or a good leader if somebody else has expertise in a realm that you don't, and somebody that you are leading over it needs that expertise.
Yeah.
It's okay, because we aren't Jesus. We can't be everything.
Yeah.
I'm not Christ. Christ is the one that is everything to us. I can't be everything to you. I know what I'm called to do. I know my level of expertise. If it's outside of the scope, I can't give you legal advice. Like you said, you finna go into that courtroom,
lose everything,
lose it
all.
That's so funny.
You're about to lose it all.
You about to lose it all. But I'm humble enough and secure in myself enough to say, hey, I don't have the answers, but Darren, he knows how to deal with, drug addiction. He knows how to deal with that. Let's go have a conversation with Darren. Are you okay with having a conversation with him? Or I can talk to him a little bit about it. And when you're ready, let's have a conversation. And he can lead you to some other people and some other resources that can help you. Yeah,
exactly. And so, as we wrap up, I just want to say that, that's a key point. Again, we just have to get to the place where the church, again, becomes the focal point, the center, the answer for the community, and that we serve our community well.
Yes. I love that. Hey, guys, listen, if you are struggling with any type of anxiety, any type of mental health issues, if you're struggling with anything, please feel free to reach out to us. And we will try to do a good job with funneling you to some different resources. And reach out for help. Reach out for help. There has been times where I've been struggling and just trying to handle it on my own, especially to the men. We're trained that we got to get it out the mud and handle it on our own. We're not made to be islands, man. And when you are isolated, brothers, life is hard. Reach out for help. It doesn't make you any less of a man. It actually shows strength, bro. You show strength when you say, hey, I'm not okay. I am not okay. So reach out for help. And there's help for us all out there. There's help for you out there. This has been As We Walk podcast. We want to thank y'all for today. Peace.